What's up, guys? Mason Brock Henderson here, and this is probably the most frustrated I've been since the loss to Arsenal. And it's not the worst we've played since the loss to Arsenal. I mean, we played terribly in the loss against Tottenham. We played pretty poor in other games, but this is probably the most average performance that we've put in since the loss to Arsenal. Even the tie against or the draw against Liverpool, we still played well there. It's a tough team to play against. It's at Anfield. A draw is a good result there. This this is Burnley. I understand they've got a great home record. I understand it's the best home record in the league right now. I get that. I'm not saying that we should have expected to go in and blow them out. But if you're rating our performance today on a scale of 1 to 10, if we had given a 7 today, we would have won. But we gave a 5, and so we tie. And that's the frustrating part about it. Like, why go so just average today? And it's not like, here's the thing. Before, some of the previous results, some of the losses, the draws, some of them have been, I thought, Conte's decisions. Who he put out there, the players they put out there. But if I'm being honest, yeah, the lineup isn't exactly what I wanted, but the subs he made in the second half, exactly what I wanted. You bring Fabregas on for Matic, who was playing poor at the time. You bring on Willian to bring a little bit extra attack. You bring on Batshuayi for Pedro, who's been playing poor. Yeah, those are good. Those are good choices. Those are good changes. It's more attacking. It's more direct. And yet somehow we still are just so just kind of lolling around. Oh, pass, touch, pass, touch, pass. And it's just like, why? You know that Burnley are going to pack it in. You know that they're going to defend and counterattack. What's the best example? What's the best solution for that? Quick, boom, 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 boom. Move the ball quickly. Every single time somebody picked it up, it felt like it was slow. It felt like it was slowed down. We gotta take our time. Let's move the ball at our pace. The only two that I thought looked like they were going to create something today were Hazard throughout the entire game. Every time he picked it up, he was creating, but nobody was moving for him. And then whenever Fabregas came on, he's moving well, he's moving the ball quickly. But the problem is, 2 players amongst 11 does not a team make. Just because 2 players are moving the ball around well, just because 2 players are moving well, doesn't mean the rest of the team is going to play well. And that's my biggest issue. There was a lack of movement. There was a lack of ball movement. We're not going to be able to beat a team like Burnley by just boom, boom, but playing pretty much how Man City and Arsenal play. I mean, just being honest, that's how they play. They play very possession-based. They play very, we're going to knock it around in the back and we're going to wait for our opening. The way that Chelsea have been playing recently have been, let's move the ball quickly, let's hit them quickly, let's go at them, attack, just hit them as hard as we can, and we'll find that opening. We didn't do that today. We had 13 shots, 2 of them on target. That should tell you just how bad it was. It wasn't like Heaton had to do anything to keep him in the game. All of our chances came from pretty much outside the box, and they were terrible shots. They were lofted over the goal. They were mishit shots that went almost out for a throw-in. It was just so slow that we weren't creating anything inside the box. We weren't creating these open chances where Costa gets time at the top of the box for a shot or Hazard gets time for a shot. None of that was happening today because it was so slow. So now that I'm done ranting about the team's performance, a couple other things to talk about outside of the team. One, I do want to give credit to Burnley today. As much as I want to say that our performance flattered them, they did do a good job of shutting down a lot of the passing lanes. I still think if we had put more effort in our movement off the ball, I still think we could have created those passing lanes. But I do have to credit the fact that there's a reason why they have the best home record in the league right now, because they just know how to shut down the game. They know how to play anti-football. As much as I hate that style, it does grind out results, and that's what they've been doing this season. Only against the top teams that have no defense, like Liverpool and Man City, have they've been able to pick up all 3. But against the top teams that do have a defense, they've been picking up a point consistently. So I will give them credit for that. The other thing outside of our team to talk about, Kevin Friend is probably the worst referee for us to have. Um, he does well in other games that I see him in, but for some reason, whenever he's reffing our games, it's like he just doesn't like the Chelsea players. I don't know if maybe last season, whenever Costa was in his mood where he wanted to fight people, I don't know if that left a bad impression on him or what, but every single game that we've had with him this season has been very poorly refereed from our side. And it's not like he wasn't calling the fouls today. Most of the fouls he did call. Well, some of the fouls that he called for them were a little bit soft, but he did call the fouls consistently for us. You know, like whenever Burnley fouled us, we got the foul. The problem is, so many of those were breakaway fouls. So many of those were lunging fouls from behind. And there were like 2 yellows for Burnley today. I mean, there were a lot of yellow card challenges, and I'm pretty sure there were only 2, maybe 3 Burnley players that got a yellow today. And I mean, it looks like that should be a yellow. It's not. Oh, okay. Well, that should be a yellow. It's not. Okay. Well, that's his 3rd foul. Where's the yellow now? Oh, you're gonna talk to him now. Oh, okay. He just gave them so much leeway to crush our players, to go into these sliding challenges that nearly take them out, and just nothing for it. No punishment. And it just felt like they could do whatever they wanted, and it would take a really, really, really bad challenge before he finally said, okay, so that's a yellow. I feel like he let way too much go from their side today. And Burnley are a very physical team. I mean, remember Barnes' challenge on Matic 2 years ago. They are a team that will put in a very strong challenge, and if they're not refereed properly, if they're not kept in check, they're going to hurt some people. And it felt like today they could have hurt some people if Kevin Friend hadn't stepped in. So, just something to it's something else to kind of irk me on top of the fact that we didn't play well. But onto our team, let's talk about individual performances. Courtois didn't have a whole lot to do. Obviously, the free kick goal, it was a very well taken one. It's one of those that it's bent from outside curling in. Those are very difficult to get to. And on top of that, you want your keeper to be guarding his side of the goal. So to get all the way over there, I mean, it was very well placed. He maybe could have, like, stepped off a little bit more, maybe gotten a little bit more of a push off to get there. But, I mean, just looking at it, you can't really fault him for not getting there. Yeah, it would have been amazing if he had, but he's going to look at that and say, okay, I maybe could have done a few things, but it was a well taken shot. Defense, Aspilicueta didn't hurt us today, but didn't really help us. You know, he helped defensively, but we didn't have a whole lot to do defensively. You know, the few times that they kicked it down, there was nobody up there really to defend. So it felt like we need him going forward in the attack. We need him moving the ball around quickly because he can do that. You know, he's played that fullback position before, so he can get down the field and help out in the attack. It felt like he was just kind of giving the ball away too easily. You know, he was passing it to the other team, or his crosses weren't all that good. So I just feel like he could have helped us more attack-wise, but he didn't do anything wrong today. He didn't make any mistakes. David Luiz made some good challenges, but also had a couple that were kind of scary, you know, like just going into a challenge that he doesn't need to. Going into there was one where, you know, Cahill makes a mistake, but then the pass he should have easily, and for some reason he's not ready for it. And so all of a sudden now he misses it. Now it's almost one-on-one with Courtois, if not for Spilicueta. So, you know, just these few moments that in a game like this you need him to be a bit more level-headed. And especially getting into the last moments, there's way too many times where he's stepping in, kicking it out of bounds, or he's kicking it all the way down the field, instead of trying to find a pass, instead of trying to keep control of the game. And this is what he did before we sold him, you know, way back when. I was so frustrated every single time he'd pick up the ball, and all of a sudden he's just kicking it downfield, trying to find that long ball, that long launch ball. And the other team were so ready for that it's just like every single time it's kicked downfield, headed away, headed away, headed away. And I'm just like, try something else. Try moving the ball. Let's not just kick it. So I wish he'd calm down in that respect. You know, I wish he'd, I guess, see his closer options. Try to see the smarter options that he's got around him. Cahill just really trying to get himself out of the team recently. Defensively he does okay, but there's There's just way too many times where the decision making isn't what you expect, one, out of your captain, and two, out of one of your covering defenders. Like Azpilicueta wouldn't make a challenge like some of the ones he made today. He wouldn't get pulled out of position like some of the times that Cahill does. So it's just like, why is he still making these mistakes and he's still there? He's still playing. We've got Terry, we've got Zuma, we've got Ake. They can play there. Why is he still in the team? I get Conte doesn't want to make a whole lot of changes, but at some point you have to look at that and say, we've got better players that can play there. We've got somebody else who won't make the same mistakes Cahill has. So I'm kind of frustrated there. The wingbacks, Moses, not as great, not one of his best games, but he's still in the right positions. It's just on the ball. He wasn't as good today as he normally is. But what I like about him over Alonso is that he's still dangerous. Even if he's not doing much on the ball, he's still getting in the right positions. He's still causing the defense to have to come out and step to him, which is forcing them to work. Alonso, it feels like every single time he gets it, takes a touch, they know they don't have to really close him down because all he's going to do is just loft the ball in that's going to be headed away. So I like the fact that they know they have to close down Moses, because if they let him get up to speed, he's going to run right by him. So I like having him out there, even if he's not creating a whole lot. He did get the assist on the goal, but besides that, he didn't really do a whole lot on the ball. But he is causing the defense some problems. So that's, in my opinion, that's enough. Just causing them to have to work, because we didn't really do that today. That's one of the biggest complaints, is because we were playing so slow and because we weren't moving the ball around, they didn't have to work as hard. They didn't really have to, we could have won them out by the end of the game. But by the end of the game, they're still going strong because we haven't moved the ball enough. All they've had to do is just shift. They haven't actually had to step out, pressure, quickly close down, or else things could get worse. So just little things like that are what make me think Moses deserves to be in the team still. Alonso, like I said, just constantly giving the ball away. He does get in the right positions at times, but I don't see the benefit of having him there anymore. Especially because we've got players like Ake, like Kennedy, that can play there and not only be effective defensively, but be more dangerous going forward. I don't see the purpose of having him there anymore. So I'd like to see somebody else given a chance, especially against a team like Burnley. You know they're not going to go all out attack. They're going to kind of sit back. I want somebody else in there aside from Alonso. I want some changes to happen. So the fact that things stayed completely the same, a little bit frustrating. But, for what it is, I guess the one good thing about Alonso is that he does work hard at times. I don't have a whole lot of good to say about him, but he does put in good effort, I guess. And honestly, that's all I can say for a couple others. So yeah, just I would like to see him on the bench next game if Conte wants to change stuff finally. But seeing how the rest of the season has gone, I don't see things changing. All I see is the same players going out week after week. Sometimes they have a good game, sometimes they have a bad game, but it's those bad games that are really, really hurtful that make me want them out. Make me want somebody else in there. So, yeah. Conte, did what he does in the midfield, just putting pressure, stopping their counterattacks, and honestly, that's why Burnley didn't have as many chances as they normally do on the counterattack, because Conte just steps in and wins it. Once again, though, his passes are still a little bit off. There are too many times where he's giving it away when it's a simple pass. It should just be, okay, here to there, simple pass, easy and done with. And, not that his passing is terrible. He does sometimes hit a great pass. But the mistakes are there, and whenever you've got a midfield player that's making passing mistakes like that, it's a little bit scary. But Lord, does he work hard just off the ball to win it back, to get himself in good positions. When we have it, he just runs and runs and runs and runs. So those few passes I can overlook because of how much he does off the ball or defensively. So just something that maybe needs to be addressed in practice, but for now I'm okay with. Matic today, for me, worst game of the season for him. Just I don't know what was going on with him today. I don't know why today was like it was today, but he didn't look confident. He didn't look like he was ready to go. He caused the foul that led to the free kick that led to the goal. He just wasn't doing enough work in the midfield. And every single time, it's just, first of all, he gave away the ball way too many times, but every single time he picks it up, I'm just like, Fabregas would have released it. Fabregas would have found a better pass. And that's all I could think about. Once again, all I could think about was Fabregas should be in there. And I get that he's supposed to be a defensive midfielder. I get that it's a more defensive lineup. First of all, it's Burnley. They're not going to go all out attack. They counterattack, and that's it. And we've got Conte for that. They're going to pack it in against us. So we need a more creative midfielder, Fabregas. Secondly, even though Fabregas is not a great defensive midfielder, he's still really good at reading the play. He makes some great interceptions. And on top of that, third, even though he's not the best defensive midfielder, we don't defend a whole lot when he's on the field. Because whenever he picks it up, we've got control of the game. They don't see the ball as much. With Matic, he could give it away in an instant, and all of a sudden, now we're on the defense. Now we need a defensive midfielder. But when we've got Fabregas in there, we're not defending as much. We keep control of the ball. We keep hold of it. We're moving it. We're passing. Fabregas picks it up. He's telling people where to pass. He's getting people moving. With him in the field, it's just so much more our game than with Matic, where it's just like, okay, yeah, we're strong defensively, but who cares if we have the ball the whole time? Like, what's the point of that? So I don't understand why Matic was playing again today. It's probably the only one in the starting lineup that I disagreed with. Obviously, some of them I do want switched out because of their recent performances, but just based on, the lineup that we normally have, it feels like whenever a team's going to pack it in against us, we have Pedro out there. We should have Fabregas out there. Whenever a team's going to come out and attack us, we have Willian out there. We have Matic out there. Today, this is not a team that's going to come and attack us. Even though we're at their place, they're more likely to counterattack. So why no Fabregas? And Matic, his performance today just sort of helped to prove my point a bit more, because he was probably the worst player we had out there today. Up in the attack, Pedro, after the goal, was worthless. Just gave the ball away too cheaply, doesn't move the ball enough. Whenever he's on, he tries to dribble way too much, and that's Pedro for you. He does one good thing and then does something bad. It's almost to the point where I jokingly will say maybe he shouldn't score today, because whenever he doesn't score is actually when he plays better. But whenever he scores, it's like, those are the games that I'm just like, I don't want Pedro in today because he's playing terrible. Yeah, he got a goal, but he played the rest of the game really poor. Hazard, like I said, he was one of the two that actually looked like he was going to create something. Just the movement with the ball, the movement off the ball. He was trying to link up with Pedro and Costa, who just weren't reading it today for some reason. His work ethic today was really, really good. Even though it was probably a frustrating day for him, he really worked. He really put in a lot going forward, and he's the only reason that we actually had control of the game as much as we did in the first half and before Fabregas came in. And then Costa today, on the ball, he looked okay, but off the ball, he was not at all what I expect out of him. Just a lack of movement, a lack of opening up space for other people. And you knew that the Burnley defenders, the two center ones, they were going to mark Costa. So what should he do? Move. Get out. Get out of the space. Open up more space for Pedro and Hazard. What does he do? Just stand there. Just stand, wait for the ball. Passed into his feet. They put in a challenge. It's gone. It's just like, what are you doing? I expect you to work hard. I expect you to move and move and move. And what does he do? He stands and stands and stands. Oh, he gets the ball. He dribble, loses the ball. Standing again. Just, last game, it was interesting because a lot of people were saying he had a terrible game. I thought, he did enough movement off the ball. He did enough work trying to win it back, trying to open up space. I thought he did enough to where I'm like, he didn't really do much on the ball today, but his work ethic was there. Today, it's the exact opposite. He didn't create anything. He didn't do anything. The only time he actually looked good is those couple dribbles he had when he was on the ball, and even then, he didn't create anything with it. He either lost it or he just sort of hit a shot that was mishit. So I don't know. I don't know what happened to him today, but he was not at all effective when we needed him to be. Whenever a team packs it in like this, when we played West Brom, that's a game that he showed up. He was like, okay, I'm taking this game. I'm going to go score right now. And he went and did it. Today, we needed him to do that. And he didn't. He didn't show up today. And it's frustrating because after all the talk of what happened, after all the media, trying to spread all these rumors and stuff, it looked like the talk was done. And it looked like he was back to his form. But now I'm just like, maybe not. Maybe things are still not okay there. Maybe he's not working for the team anymore. So it's frustrating to see him put in a terrible performance like this, especially when we needed a win today. And then the subs that came on, Fabregas, like I said, came on, started controlling the game. We had a lot more of the ball after that. If only we had more movement up top, aside from just Hazard, I feel like we could have gone and won 3-1, but just not enough from Costa, from Pedro, from Batshuayi when he came on. Willian came on, and that's when we reverted to 4-4-2. It was kind of like Hazard and Costa up top with Willian and Pedro out wide, Fabregas and Conte, and then the back four, Spilicueta, David Luiz, Cahill, and Alonso. And at that point, it was just kind of like we were trying to throw as much as we could. We were trying to change things up a little bit to see if maybe we could catch Burnley off. And while I like the thought, it didn't work out effectively because it looked like people were lost in the new formation. Like we've got accustomed to the 3-4-3, so the change of formation was almost like now people aren't sure where to be. Now we're not moving as freely as we usually do. So I appreciate the effort. I appreciate the thought to change it up a little bit, but I don't think it was as effective in a game like this where the other team has packed it in and they're just sitting there. They're not going to come out and step to you. They're going to wait for you to come to them. We need something that allows for more freedom to move, and that 3-4-3 allows for that. So to change it up to a 4-4-2, now there's less freedom. Now it's a lot more disciplined on where you have to stay. So I was a little disappointed there, but William came on and worked hard. Still a few too many mistakes from him, but I like the effort that he's putting in, and I hope this effort gets rewarded with more time and his play starts getting better as it goes along. And then finally, Batshuayi, and like I said, not enough movement from him mainly for a striker who is trying to prove he deserves more first team time. I would expect him to go out there and be the hardest worker. To go out there and show Costa up, be like, look, you couldn't get past this back line the entire time. I'm going to go out there, I'm going to work my ass off, and I'm going to make sure I get a chance or two before this game is over. Even though I only have 4 minutes plus stoppage time, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to work hard, and I'm going to show my worth to this team. He's on his heels, ball comes in, defender beats him to it, he's not strong enough to hold it up, he's not really working hard to win it back. Why are you out there if you're not going to do that stuff? That's what we expect Costa to do. He's not doing it today. Why don't you go out there and do it? No, you're not going to do it either? Well, what do we expect anymore? What are we supposed to expect out of our strikers if they're not going to do the work that they're supposed to do? So I was really frustrated from him just because I've been one of the ones who's saying that he deserves more time. He needs to get more time out there. So the fact that he had a chance to go out there and change the game today, he had the chance to go out there and work hard and show up Costa, and then he doesn't. He just kind of goes out there and doesn't really do anything. It was really frustrating for me, and I feel like this kind of sets him back, in my opinion. So, all in all, like I said, it's really a frustrating game because of the fact that it's Burnley. We should be beating them. We should be cruising past them. We have a chance. Tottenham lost yesterday, which means we have a chance to go 12 points clear until Man City plays tomorrow if they win. This is a big deal. This is a chance for us to move forward. This is a chance to say, okay, the title race is no longer a title race. A lot of people are saying, oh, well, it's not a race anymore. Well, there's still a lot of time left. So it's not like it's done and dusted. But if we keep putting in performances like this, it's not done and dusted. It's going to be a title race again. So performances like this can't keep happening. We can't keep having these lackluster performances, the slow movement of the ball. We need more energy. We need more commitment from the players. I don't know where it went wrong today. I don't know if it was just a lack of effort, if it was just a lack of interest. I don't know what happened today. But for some reason, the players didn't show up except for Hazard and Fabregas, and we end up with a tie. We end up dropping 2 points. While Arsenal, Liverpool, Man U are all picking up points, Man City will probably pick up points tomorrow against Bournemouth. We need to be picking up points. We need to make sure they're not picking up points on us. And so, what is this game now? Well, it's a waste of our time. That's what it is. It's not a game that we should be tying. It's a game we should be winning every single time, no matter what. It doesn't matter the conditions. It doesn't matter who's playing, who's playing for them. It should be we go out there, we work hard, and we win. And I didn't see that today. I saw a very average performance, much like at the beginning of the season. And if this continues, yeah, we're going to let the other teams catch up to us, and it's going to be a lot more intense at the end of the season. So, all in all, I'm frustrated more with the players today. Hopefully, Conte can get in their ear and tell them that wasn't good enough. And it sounds like he's not happy with the draw today, even though a lot of the people are like, oh yeah, they should be happy with that result. A draw today is not that bad. It sounds like Conte's not happy with it. So hopefully, he's going to motivate them to get going again. But we'll see. So let me know what you guys think of the game today. Who's your man of the match? Who's your worst man of the match? Let me know. We can talk about it and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Chelsea reviews, and I'll see you at the next game. Peace out.